Welcome into the eye of the storm here in Week 12 of the SFL on VFN. As the 3-5 Florida Storm welcome in the 2-5 Baltimore Vultures. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody, alongside my good friend Stephen Mullinax. My name is Eric Vincent. Ron Haynes and J.W. Hartshorn are in the stats truck for us this evening, and Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ as always. Stephen, good to have you in the broadcast booth again, my friend.
Eric, always wonderful to be with you. And boy, you know, a Sunday afternoon that dreams are made of if you are a football fan here. Two legendary SFL teams going head-to-head, maybe for the last time. You've got to love the history that these two teams bring to the table. This season, unfortunately, they're both struggling towards the bottom of the standings. But these two teams, when they face off, man, it is always a good time and a good show. Let's prepare for a great game, and I think our viewing audience is going to love what they see.
I couldn't agree more. Two pass-happy offenses, both teams coming in, losers of 3 straight, so something's got to give here. One of those teams is going to come out with a W. Baltimore wins the toss. They're going to receive the football to start things off here in South Florida, and we are underway from the eye. Inside the 5. Spin move out across the 25 and out to the 30-yard line, and that's where the Vultures will start things off here. And we'll see Jack Wigmore come out and lead the troops.
Yeah, Wigmore coming into this game statistically doesn't look great, right? 5 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, under 50% completion percentage. But this is the thing about Baltimore. They want to throw the ball, as shown here, in a no-back set to start off things.
3 wide. Tight ends in the formation. Wigmore to throw. Quick fires over the middle, actually towards the far sideline. Catch is made by Ivory Urban for a quick first down.
And this has been their MO, right? Both of these teams actually on offense, they love to pass the ball. Baltimore, 3rd most passing plays so far this season, and Florida right behind them 4th. So these are two teams, despite them having really quality running backs and fullbacks on the roster, they have both come into this season deciding we want to air things out.
Still going with the empty look. Wigmore under center. He'll throw again and again, finds Irvin, and another first down, this time into Florida territory.
Yeah, boy, it's just an exact same copy of the same play. They found a little hole in the zone there, able to throw it over the defenders, and really just a nice job there. Look, there's 4 defenders right around the receiver, but there's that little opening right there. Just a nice little cushion that Wigmore really starting out really confident and really accurate here early on.
2 plays, 2 first downs, and quickly into Storm territory. Sticking with the same formation here. Wigmore still under center. 4-down lineman for the Storm. We'll send Jackson Roberts, the tight end, in motion. So 3 towards the bottom of the formation now for the Vultures. Wigmore, again, good clean pocket. This time over the middle, and that catch is made by Mac Chima.
And wow, Eric, multiple receivers open there. Wigmore had a buffet of open receivers in front of him, and just decides there to go to Chima. But all day in the pocket, nice job by the offensive line, making Jack secure there in the pocket. Didn't have to make any moves. Really just had a lot of time to just find whichever receiver he wanted to and make the completion. Now, right on the edge of the red zone.
Yep, right at the edge of the SFL red zone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Similar formation as we've seen this whole drive. Wigmore retreats, sets his feet, fires, end zone, touchdown, Mac Chima.
And wow, just a perfect way to enter the eye, right? To come in and really punch the opposition right in the mouth. Completion after completion, not a single running play there, and a pitch-perfect pass to get their first score on the board.
Absolute perfection of a drive for the Vultures as they march 70 yards down the field in just a few plays and are able to take the early lead as the extra point is up and good from Iron Leg. 4 plays, 70 yards. We'll give them the 70 yards. Just over a minute and a half there taken off the clock for the Vultures. Didn't even get a chance to look at the offense yet.
No, because they were just so dynamic and fast and quick in what they did. I mean, they just came in determined that this is how to attack this Florida defense, and so far they're right.
Now the Storm will get an opportunity here, reeling after that defensive possession. And a big kick from Iron Leg. That'll result in a kneel down in the end zone. Florida will get the ball at the 20-yard line, where we'll see Isaac Covert, number 15, at quarterback.
We talked a little bit about both of these teams come into this game struggling. Both of these teams on a 3-game losing skid. Baltimore's a little bit more difficult as they faced all of the last three losses on the road. And once again, here they are in Florida on the road.
Over will throw to start things off and finds an open man in Mike Twinscrew. That's going to be a gain of 8 yards. And we might as well look at the offense while we have an opportunity to. Isaac Covert sitting at quarterback, Bullet Biletsky and Chris Komisak in the backfield. Art Vandelay, Mike Twinscrew, and Shea Carroll are the receivers. We've got Ron Haynes at tight end, along with Joseph Wade and Greg McDonaldson at guard for the Storm. 2nd and 2, pitch play out to Bullet Biletsky, lowers his shoulder and gets the first down yardage out near the 35-yard line.
As a running back, that has got to be an absolute dream to get that pitch there off to the right-hand side and see absolutely nothing but green in front of you. I mean, that he wasn't even touched until about 8 yards deep down the field. That's just a terrific play call.
Working at 34, fresh set of downs here for the Storm. 3 wide. They'll pitch it over the other way. This time Komisak on the carry. Big hit on the back end by the linebacker.
Yeah, and I like that combination, right? The Bullet and Komisak, kind of the lightning and thunder of this Florida Storm backfield, actually coming in combined for over 500 rushing yards together and 8 touchdowns together, 4 apiece.
Alvin Mack with the big hit on the back end there. 3-yard gain, going to stick with it. Bullet Biletsky, good stiff arm there, and he is still on the run. Ushered out of bounds on the near sideline. Big gain for the Storm.
Reminding me of the Nigerian Nightmare. Look at this awesome stiff arm here. Puts the linebacker on his back and able to get an extra 10 yards because of that. You don't necessarily equate speed with that kind of arm strength, that kind of power, but Biletsky's the entire package.
Both these teams working well on offense, both in conversing ways, as Florida sets up shop now at the 45-yard line of Baltimore. Shea Carroll, the motion man, as Covert lines up under center. Single back is going to be Komisak, who gets the pitch, avoids initial contact, trying to bounce it to the outside, gets through a second defender, and he's got first down yardage out near the 30-yard line.
And in the SFL, it's so important to have 2 running backs and dynamic running backs on your team, just because of the stamina hit that takes place in our league. But in this particular case, what a benefit it is to have a back, much less 2 of them, that can break that first initial tackle, right? If you as a running back or a fullback can break that first initial tackle, it usually means very good things for your offense, and that you're going to be gobbling up the yards.
If you like 1, 2 is even better, as he got 2 broken tackles on that play. Biletsky just churning those legs, and that's the kind of runner that we'll see from Bullet Biletsky as he gets 9 on that play.
And it's just as easy, it seems just as easy as it was for Baltimore on the offensive side. Baltimore went dot down the field through passes only, and it seems like Florida just has the opposite mindset. They've been just run down the field, and it's been just as smooth.
Sticking with that pitch play that we've seen several times here tonight, as Komisak is able to get first down yardage, and they'll creep into the SFL red zone with that carry.
And if they're able to get into the end zone, this is really good for Florida, because see, the one thing that they have that Baltimore doesn't by all those passing plays is they get to soak up the time of possession, which should help them in this game.
And in a game like this, where it looks like both offenses are scoring at will, great pass right there. Another stiff arm, and Ron Haynes puts the first score on the board for the Storm.
Yeah, look, just a great way to kind of lull the defensive secondary to sleep, right? Run the ball throughout that entire drive, have so much success doing so, and then yet you get into the red zone, boom, Ron Haynes down the middle, touchdown to your most reliable receiver. You gotta love it.
Well, it wasn't exactly 4 plays, but Florida moved down the field with ease as well, as they're looking to add the extra point by Ethan Sneed, and it is up and good, tied at 7 now.
But again, I think that time of possession, right, soaking up nearly 3 minutes off the clock, I think that's going to benefit, really, it's going to benefit Florida, because they're keeping now that Baltimore defense has to be on the field longer and longer and longer if they continue this kind of success on the ground.
8 plays, 80 yards, and capped off with that touchdown pass to Haynes, as Chima, who had a touchdown grab for the Vultures, gets a good return out to the 36-yard line for Baltimore.
Yeah, look, Eric, you may want to go through this Baltimore offense. I'm not sure how much longer you're going to have a chance to do it the way this Baltimore offense has been attacking there in that first series.
No kidding, right? They've just been moving the football with ease. Only 4 plays got them into the end zone on their opening possession. We'll see if Wigmore and company have more of that in store for us here as they set up shop with a 1st and 10.
And they're back, it looks like, in this no-back set. Yeah, they are committed to this.
Both teams running similar formations virtually the entire way. Jerome Riley, the motion man, 3 wide towards the top of the formation. Wigmore will retreat, set his feet, and fire. And that's going to be we'll say a short gain of 9 yards, comparatively speaking. But we'll go through this offense quickly while we have the opportunity. Jack Wigmore at quarterback. We'll see Johnny Kim a little bit as well at quarterback. Warren Murray, David Anderson, and T. Roy Gaines in the backfield. Ivory Irvin, Reja De Niro, Mac Chima, the receivers. And we'll get a look at the tight ends and the offensive line following this play. 2nd and 1. We'll see a handoff to T. Roy Gaines, who gets the first down yardage there. We've got Benji Matson, Jackson Roberts at tight end for the Vultures. Ray Arnold, Olivia Bleeker, Alden Bleeker, Jay Arnold, and Don Johnson are all on the offensive line. Only the 2nd play we've seen with a back so far for the Vultures, and that's a carry to David Anderson for a gain of 3.
Yeah, and Eric, when we were talking before the game, one of the more perplexing things about this Baltimore offense is despite the fact that they are number 1 in the league in yards per carry, averaging 4.4 yards per carry, they are 19th in running the ball. They really do want to pass, but when they run, they are one of the most, if not the most effective running team in the league.
Short carry there. Actually, T-Roy will lose a yard on the play, but I absolutely agree with you, Steven. I mean, when you got 2 backs like Warren Murray and T-Roy Gaines that collectively have 30,000 career rushing yards, and they are not a focal point of the offense, it's very difficult to kind of argue that away as they set up a 3rd and 8, 5 wide empty set.
Absolutely right.
Wigmore on 3rd down. Sets his feet and fires another open man, and that's Irvin once again. It's been Irvin and Chima so far in the passing attack, and it's been working great for the Vultures.
Yeah, and look, and they're 2 vested veteran receivers in this league who have won multiple championships, so it's an easy option to go to, either one of those guys. But I like this series a lot better for Baltimore. They're mixing things up. They're using the running game just a little bit. And Wigmore there, despite being just slightly uncomfortable, able to still deliver a great ball.
He's had a couple plays where he's had to retreat, but always sets his feet and throws a good ball as he does right there and finds Chima. He's going to have tutty number 2. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Eric, it's starting to feel like it's going to be one of those legendary offensive games for both sides, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we're plus 40 for both teams by the end of this thing, the way these guys have started out red hot on offense.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, barely able to catch our collective breaths here in the broadcast booth as both of these teams just marching up and down the field. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, and both of those drives looked relatively easy for the Baltimore Vultures as Iron Leg adds the extra point to go back up by 7 with just over 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and we're at breakneck speed here offensively. This is really, I mean, first of all, it's kind of unusual for an SFL game to see just right out of the gate this kind of action. But also, I kind of expect it because of these 2 legendary teams. Like, this is the kind of show I was talking about in the pregame. Like, it's going to be entertaining regardless of the record.
And so far, we've been getting just that. I mean, and you touched on it, Steven. 2 storied franchises, probably arguably 2 of the most storied in our league. And both these teams, whenever they get together, we always get a great game. And sure enough, we're getting one right now. And now Florida has to answer. They'll come out in I formation, 3 wide. And the handoff goes to Beletsky. Short gain for him, and that'll give us an opportunity to look at the Baltimore defense with Al Walker, Ralph Leopold, Nate Brown along the front 4. Frank Smith, Jeff Melanishin, and Alvin Mack, the linebackers. Ben Stackenpaper, Elijah Warfield, and Roy Towers at corner. Yun Vaught is going to be listed at the strong safety. We've also got Tommy Powers handling the punting duties for Baltimore, if we should ever see that. 2nd and 7 now for the Storm. Pitch play And that's Thomas with the carry there. And another couple of yards brings up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and then Thomas, you can see that it was just one-on-one, and that's kind of what you want is a running back or a fullback there in the backfield. One-on-one with the defender. If he breaks that tackle, he's gone.
On lineup, wide receiver Art Vandelay in the offset eye, and he's going to get the throw there, trying to beat the defender and get first down yardage, and he'll do just that. First down for the Storm.
Yeah, I love to see that. A big, tall receiver able to really get that lean to get over the first down marker despite being in the midst of a tackle.
Back to the eye, 3 wide, 2 towards the top of the formation. Handoff goes to Beletsky again. And again, a good open field tackle. Looked like the running game was working pretty well on their opening drive, and Baltimore's defense clamping down on the rushing attack this time around.
Yeah, as much as we're really glamorizing the offense in this game for good reason, we got to remember these are 2 championship-level defenses as well, and they're going to make their mark in this game.
2nd and 6 now after a gain of 4. Split backs. Komisak gets the pitch play, trying to work his way through the defense. He'll get very, very close. Tackle made by Mack will bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see here based on what we've seen. Probably wanting a dive down the middle here, trying to get this first down, but don't be surprised. Maybe they want to try to surprise Baltimore. A little bit of a toss to the outside. Let's see.
Going with that split back look again. We've seen the toss play several times. We'll see it once more. Beletsky, first down yardage and more after he lowers his shoulders and gets escorted out of bounds along the far sideline.
It's just absolute money right there. I mean, it's just, well, first of all, let's give a lot of credit to that blocking on the outside there by the receiver, able to hold up that defensive back, and it's just been clear sailing, a clear 5 yards almost every time they do that pitch play. Is it any wonder that on 3rd and inches, instead of diving or doing a quarterback sneak, they just go to the play where they're getting almost a guaranteed 4 or 5 yards every time.
We've seen a lot of if it ain't broke, don't fix it between these 2 teams offensively. And we'll get a carry this time to Bettis. And it's going to be a gain of 4. And again, to your point, Stephen, each rushing attempt, it seems to go for at least 4 yards.
Yeah, and even for the guys coming off the bench like Bettis, that's just really a mark of a really good game plan when even the guys that are kind of unknown off the bench can come in and get you 4 yards.
Might be the final play of the first quarter. Been playing at breakneck speed as Beletsky gets a big hit on the back end, and we will hit a 3rd and 3 on the other side of the first quarter. 1 quarter in the books, and we've barely gotten started, folks. 14-7 ball game in favor of the visiting Vultures over the hometown Florida Storm as you're watching the SFL on VFN. And want to remind you, aerial coverage of today's game provided by Dags DroneWorks, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. Get a beautiful shot of Fort Lauderdale in the downtown area, which is where we are here today in the eye of the storm. Florida trailing by 7, but driving, faced with a 3rd and 3 in Baltimore territory. Covert to the air. He's going to sling it out quickly to Vandelay, who's got the catch, and he's got a lot more. Inside the 15, the 10, and will be ushered out of bounds at the 5. Going to be a goal-to-go situation for the Storm.
If I'm that Baltimore defender, I'm going to have nightmares about that stiff arm that was just levied against me. Look, that looked like a play that was barely going to get a first down. But again, you break that first tackle, especially as violently as Vandelay did right there. It just opens up the entire field, nearly getting to the end zone.
Huge play there to convert a 3rd down and then to get yourself into a goal-to-go situation. Even better for the Storm as they set up here from the 5-yard line. 1st and goal. Sticking with that split back look. And Covert to the air. He's going to sling it out to Bettis. Doesn't quite have the speed as Vandelay and couldn't quite get into the end zone. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and that was kind of a failure of a block, too. Had an opportunity. There was 2 offensive players for Florida out there and only 1 Baltimore defender, but unable to get around to get the block that really Bettis really needed to score there.
We'll mark it as a no gain from the 5, 2nd and goal. Beletsky avoids initial contact, gets to the corner, and he'll get in the end zone for the 2nd touchdown for the Storm.
I'm telling you what, these teams are looking at each other and they're like, hey, I got you, boo, right? You score, I score. You score, I score. These two teams have not left the field without a touchdown in this game so far. That's insane. That's also early. Give credit, it is early, but man, they've just been going back and forth and doing it in very drastically different ways.
I don't think we've had an incompletion thus far in this game. In fact, both quarterbacks are perfect going through the first quarter and the early second quarter of play. And Stephen, that results in a breakneck speed. Eric Vincent alongside Stephen Molinax in the broadcast booth, Ron Haynes and J.W. Hartshorn in the stats truck, and Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ.
It's like if you could take these offenses and combine them together, you would have the most undefeated team ever in the SFL because everything's working on all sides of the ball when it comes to the offense.
All coming up roses offensively for both of these teams, but defensively, a lot to work on as both these teams just get into the end zone with relative ease as Chima has another good return coming out of the middle of his own end zone.
Yeah, this is turning into, again, an all-timer here, just the way these come out of the gates. Now, that being said, again, these defenses can and have been elite. At some point, they're going to make some adjustments here, and you got to expect that they're going to, maybe it might be, Eric, the first defense to make a big play here. That'll turn the tide in this whole thing.
Wigmore back to the air, fires over the middle, and there's a defensive play right there. Both these teams don't like to take the football away all that often, but Ryan Tobin, able to get a clutch interception and flip the script for the Storm.
And I don't think Wigmore saw him. I mean, there was a lot of traffic and trash in front of him, and I just don't think he saw Tobin, who was just sitting there in the zone, practically waiting for the ball. How rare it is for us to see even a linebacker come away with that. So what an athletic play by Tobin to make that athletic catch.
Tobin, his first interception on the year. Collectively, only the 11th takeaway for the Storm defense, and it sets them up nicely here at the 35. A little bit of an errant pass from Covert, ends up being a 2nd and 10. First incompletion from either quarterback tonight.
Yeah, and look, it's just now we're starting to see these defenses starting to catch up, right? They're starting to okay, we'll make some adjustments here. They'll make some major ones at halftime, but let's see what we can do in game here, and then they're starting to come up and make some real differences here. So it's starting to equal out a bit.
Split backs once again for the Storm on this 2nd and 10. 3 wide. Bit of a delayed handoff to Beletsky, and he'll get tackled in the middle of the field. Gain of 5, setting up a 3rd manageable here for the Storm.
Well, we've seen a lot of tosses, we've seen dives, and now we see the draw. So they've got everything, in the as far as the running back's concerned, they've got everything in the playbook here in these split formations.
Similar look. Covert back to pass this time on 3rd and 5. Trying to find anything. Got to go end zone, and oh man, did he find something there? Art Vandelay with another big play, this time for a touchdown.
Yeah, and it looked like, first of all, the offensive line did a terrific job giving the quarterback all that time, but yeah, it looked like the defender, initially I thought he fell down and left the receiver wide open in the back of the end zone, but he was actually just mistimed him trying to jump for an interception way too early, and it just left Vandelay wide open.
So now Florida retakes the lead as the extra point is up and good. 3 plays, 34 yards, just over a half a minute to get into the end zone, and they capitalize off of the only turnover in the ballgame thus far.
Man, and look, Florida's looking so good right now. I mean, we saw that run-heavy attack earlier in this game, and now they just launched a bomb into the end zone, really flexing their muscles offensively, showing they could do it. I can do it through the air, I can do it on the ground. However way you want to give us, whatever you want to give us down on the defense, we'll take it.
Yeah, it certainly looks like Florida has the more balanced attack thus far offensively, but Baltimore obviously averaging over 12 yards a play, just doing what they're doing through the air. We'll see if they can rebound from that early Jack Wigmore interception. Pour wide, no back in the backfield. Wigmore going to set his feet and fire, and he finds Irvin close to the line to gain. In fact, they'll give him forward progress to the first down.
Yeah, and we've seen them utilize that dig route before, and it's a bit of a dangerous pass. There is a defender there in the area, like two, in fact, one in front, one in behind. So that just puts the onus on Wigmore to really try to put that ball right on the numbers, and so far, 2 for 2.
Jesus Smith, the linebacker in coverage there, a little lost in the sauce. Could have maybe come up with the play. Instead, ends up being a fresh set of downs for the Vultures. As Wigmore goes back to work, he's going to fire and finds Irvin once again. It seems every time we've seen that, it's been pretty tight coverage from the Storm. Wigmore is just on another level tonight.
Yeah, and that connection between receiver and quarterback there is really evident. They played together for several seasons, and that's clear from just their connection. But that's the thing about this Baltimore offense, and it's keyed so much into these chunk plays that they're really never out of a game. So even down one touchdown here, that could be just one strike away.
Wigmore again will throw, and again will find Irvin, and again another first down for Baltimore.
Yeah, and Baltimore, look, coming into this game, they had 18 interceptions for Wigmore. They know that this is a risky offense, right? This is an offense that they do turn the ball over on a pretty high rate, but they figure the benefits outweigh the negatives, and they're showing by that through that first couple of series why they think that.
Irvin already up to 100 yards. Wigmore retreats, sets his feet, and fires into coverage. That's going to end up being incomplete. And it'll give us an opportunity to look at the Florida Storm defense. Deontay Stoneville, Alessandro Tomaello, and Pete Mitchell are all on the front four. Ryan Tobin, who had the interception on the previous drive, and Jesus Smith are the linebackers. Ryan Davidson, Evan Carroll, and Adam Jones, the corners, along with Daniel Wright and Andrew Francis to round out the defensive backfield for the Storm. 2nd and 10 off the incompletion to Warren Murray. Wigmore to throw, sets his feet, and that ball hung up in the air for a little bit there, Steven. And Jesus Smith was in the area, could have plucked that one away.
Yeah, I was up there so long. Several people had a chance to snag it, but typically if you're playing on defense, it means kind of you don't have the best hands. Typically if you do have great hands, you're playing on the offensive side of the ball for more money. But yeah, an opportunity there missed by Florida.
3rd and 10 now. Florida coming out with a man look. Wigmore. Good pocket, throws, one-handed grab, but it's going to be just shy of the line to gain. Benji Matson came in with the big catch, and now Baltimore's got a decision to make.
Yeah, and they're going to go for the field goal attempt. I think the key, what has been on this drive for Florida, is trying to make the quarterback uncomfortable. That has seemed to work.
Victor Ironleg from 44 yards out, bends that one in, and Baltimore will add 3 points and make it a 4-point deficit with just over 6.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
And Ironleg living up to his name. That's going to be 12 for 12 so far this season. A perfect run so far for the veteran kicker.
It looks like the Storm seizing a little bit of momentum finally in this game after we went back and forth in the first quarter of action. Return fielded just shy of the 5, and it'll be brought out to the 30-yard line. You're watching Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network. This week on VFN, SFL Week 12 continues through Monday, and the SFLM has a triple header on Tuesday. No other network gives you more football. The SFL lives on VFN. I formation for the Storm, setting up shop at the 30-yard line with a 4-point lead. Over will give it to Beletsky. Absolutely nowhere to go, and that's probably the first time we've seen them running the football today, that the Storm just have not had any openings in the rushing attack.
Yeah, and young Vaught coming up there with a nice big tackle. Actually, we haven't talked about this, but Baltimore a little short-handed on defense with Robert Brady, the defensive end, and strong safety Giovanni Bolt, both inactive for this game. So they're doing a good job there filling the depth.
As Comisac ends up getting the toss from Covert, and a short gain of maybe a couple, bring up a 3rd and 6. And yeah, Baltimore's been doing They've been struggling. They're trying to make their way through this. But I would say, being shorthanded, they've played pretty well thus far.
Yeah, and just trying to keep pace, really, you know what I mean? But a good opportunity here, maybe to get a 3 and out.
3rd and 6, offset eye. Covert, pressure coming in his face. He's going to get sacked. It looked like he might have gotten it from the front end, but he definitely got it from the back from Nate Brown.
Golly, Nate Brown, that's the guy that you absolutely got to know where he is at on the field. An SFL legend and a sack artist. I mean, the very definition. So that guy gets penetration so fast there, I don't think Covert even know what hit him.
Now it's 74.5 career sacks. Just needs half a sack more to get to 75 on his storied career. All 11 seasons here in Baltimore with the Vultures, as the defense for Baltimore forces the 3 and out, and they'll get another crack at the football, being down by 4.
And I think, the most well-rested man on the field so far for Florida has been the punter, Grippo. Actually, first time to see him in this game. That's because these it's been offensive fireworks every single series until that last 3 and out there. Each team has scored. So it's been just so breakneck speed from both of these teams, and boy, action-packed.
Second quarter has slowed down just a little bit as far as that speed is concerned, as the defenses start to play a little bit better. Wigmore throws, big hit, jarred the football loose on the back end, and that was good hit to go ahead and jar that one. But both these defenses playing a little bit better here in the second half.
Yeah, and again, the timing, it's just a little bit like the ball just got there just a little bit late than what we've seen before, and just a great job by number 21 there to knock the ball out.
Wigmore on 2nd and 10. Pocket collapsing. He's got to get rid of it. Eventually checks it down to Benji Matson. Avoids contact. Then reverses field and somehow makes something out of nothing. A 6-yard gain, but felt like it should have been for 20.
Yeah, he came back for the ball, and then he turned around. He saw the most beautiful thing that he's ever seen in front of him. It was his own offensive lineman able there to break what wasn't designed as a screen, almost made it look like a screen. All of a sudden, he had blockers and made this a much more convertible 3rd down.
Even matchup between the two squads, 186 to 196 in terms of total yards, with the Storm in favor of that. 3rd down for Wigmore. He's going to avoid the sack somehow and find a wide open Ivory Irvin towards the top of the screen. 1st down, Baltimore into Florida territory.
Yeah, Wigmore I think he had a running back here out in the wide open there, but Obsta just holding the ball just a little longer, makes a great play. And we're just talking about scramble drill here at that point. And Irving just finds number 10. He's really locked onto him. Must be a security blanket out there, and just knew that he would find a way to get open. And it's that uncommunicated connection between the two men that really converted that.
Comello had Wigmore dead to rights there in the pocket. And somehow Wigmore's able to complete that pass to Irvin, who's got over 125 yards here in the game. He'll throw again. A little bit of a greedy ball going towards Chima's way on that one. Brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, but I know Chima demands that he comes down with it. He doesn't care about the contact, and Wigmore put it between the numbers. That's a catchable ball for him despite that. So he'll be upset at himself, but he'll make it up, I'm sure, pretty soon.
Under 4 to go here in the first half. 2nd and 10. Wigmore to throw again. With time, throws on the run, and he throws another interception. This time it's Ryan Davidson, quarterback number 1 for the Storm, that comes away with the takeaway. They've got 2 today.
And a nice job by Davidson. Really, I mean, you're talking about high pointing the ball. I often talk about that with receivers. Look at 27 here. Talk about your high point as a defensive back. But again, I think the key, Wigmore was just a bit uncomfortable in the pocket, actually threw that while fading to his left. And I think that made all the difference. His 2nd interception in this ballgame.
2nd on the season for Davidson, 96 in his storied career, 5th most all time. As Covert looks to take advantage of the opportunity here. That one bit ill-advised, brings up 2nd and 10.
And going back to Ron Haynes, and that's, in previous games that I've watched for Florida, that Ron Haynes has been a big part of the offense, but I think that's only the second time I've seen him go to him as their running game has been really successful, and then they had that deep bomb for a touchdown. So I expect them to try to get Ron Haynes more involved, maybe not on this particular formation, but during this game.
Had a 19-yard touchdown grab in the first quarter of play, his only catch on the day so far. As Covert goes back to the air, finds Haynes with that throw, his second catch near midfield for the Storm.
Well, Baltimore, you can spread them out with the best of them. So can we. So we come out in a quad set, 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. And let's see if your secondary, without Giovanni Bolt, one of the best safeties in the league on the field, let's see if you can cover our 4 guys.
Clock rolling here, as are the Storm on offense. Handoff goes to Boletsky. Nothing doing on that play. Good read by the Vultures defense to make it no gain.
Yeah, now starting to see that you're not seeing those open runs that we saw for most of this first half. And Baltimore has clamped down on that, maybe at the sacrifice of maybe, some of those pass plays that they're giving up.
Very good point. Covert, 2nd and 10, throws, incomplete. Haynes couldn't hold on to that one through the hit from Mack, and that's going to bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily an inaccurate ball. I think it just kind of looked like, to me, it hit off his shoulder pad. So I don't know if Haynes was exactly expecting the ball, but, when your quarterback is in need and needs to rush that throw, you got to be ready as a receiver.
3rd and 10, blitz coming. It's picked up. Covert shuffles in the pocket. He's going to throw towards the middle of the field, and that is made by Mike Twinscrew as they go deep into Baltimore territory as we approach the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and it's about time that we seen Twinscrew's name come up here. This guy has been absolutely amazing for Florida this season, racking up 54 receptions coming into this game and 2 touchdowns. But along with Haynes, really Twinscrew has really found a really good home here in Florida, has been a bright star for them. So good to see him get involved.
2 catches, 36 yards tonight, as Boletsky gets the carry and tries to make something out of nothing, but he'll get buried at the line of scrimmage in that sea of humanity.
And just to go back on that previous play, man, we're seeing some prayers being answered tonight, Eric. I mean, some of these balls, they get a lot of time in the pocket, amazing blocking that's happening, and throwing it up for 30-yard completions.
Covert, final play before the 2-minute warning. Another catch by Twinscrew, had to reach down to his shoelaces to catch that one as we hit the 2-minute warning and the Storm move into the SFL red zone. Great play here, Steven.
Yeah, I don't think, I think that's one of the only places the quarterback could put the ball for it to be complete in that situation, as the defender was all over.
2 minutes to go here in the first half from the eye, as the Storm are looking to add to their lead here against Baltimore. SFL on VFN action rolls on. Eric Vincent here with you alongside Stephen Mullinax, Ron Haynes, and JW Hartshorn in the stats truck. Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ. Covert throws, end zone, tipped and incomplete.
Yeah, Eric, that's a heat check right there. That's like a, quarterback Covert's been feeling it. He's feeling good. Let's see if I can squeeze this between 5 defenders. That's how good I'm feeling right now. We've still got almost 2 minutes left on the clock. It's first down. All of our timeouts, we've got them all. Let's see if we can make some magic happen here.
Frank Smith with the deflection there freezes the clock at 1:57. Baltimore coming out with a man look on defense with a 2nd and 10. Covert back to the air. Blitz is coming. It's picked up. He'll throw. Wow. And that's caught once again by Twinscrew. A little bit of a low ball once again, but he catches it near the 2-yard line. It's a goal-to-go situation.
That's why you want a guy like Mike Twinscrew on your team. Guy that can catch the ball, has a huge catching radius, right? Can catch it in all different kind of ways. But in particular, they have seemed to found this kind of shoelace type catching position that has really worked for them and shielded the ball away from the defender.
Now they're going to go with the split backs look. We've seen pitch plays several times here tonight as they motion Vandelay out towards the top of the formation. Pitch play going to go to Boletsky, only back and only man within about a country mile. Touchdown for the Storm.
Yeah, as soon as I see that in motion, if they're going to toss the ball, I know who they're tossing the ball to, and maybe you make a move on defense, because that's one of the most easiest touchdowns I've seen so far. Maybe in my SFL career that was really too easy.
Probably why Beletsky wanted to go ahead and just do the little belly flop into the end zone and celebrate a bit.
Yeah, you don't want to play around too much and maybe get that thing knocked out or, fumble it away, especially here at the end of the first half. You don't want to do anything that gives the momentum to Baltimore. So the safe play is, I'll just belly flop in the end zone. There's nobody around me, but just in case, let's go ahead and do that.
2 turnovers, 14 points in response to those turnovers for the Florida Storm, and that is why they are up 28-17 here with about 90 seconds to go here in the opening half, as that's a big old boot in the back of the end zone for Chima, and almost 300 yards of total offense for the Storm.
Wow. Yeah, they have looked fantastic tonight, and, they're just one game out of being in the, or tying Charleston there for the lead in the division. So even despite their record, they have a chance here to make a little noise.
See what Wigmore and company have to say about that as he completes it over to Ivory Irvin. Clock continuing to roll after the 8-yard completion.
And Eric, this really plays into the hand of what Baltimore wants to do, right? They know they live by the sword and die by the sword through this mainly passing offense. And these interceptions, yes, have resulted in 14 points, but they also believe it will help them overcome any deficit that they fall into.
Handoff goes to Gaines, who goes absolutely nowhere. Ryan Tobin, who had an interception earlier in the quarter, making the stop there.
And I talk about their passing offense, they run the ball. That's just difficult. Right. Clearly not wanting to make a mistake here before halftime.
3rd and 2, neither team eager to use any timeouts. T-Roy able to get first down yardage and keep his feet. And the clock is still going to roll here, despite the fact that the Baltimore Vultures picked up the first down.
And talking about T-Roy, an absolute legend in this game, right? A multi-champion. One of the bigger surprises to me, only 165 yards rushing so far this season coming into this game. No touchdowns. No touchdowns, Jared. That's I can't believe it that he hasn't had a touchdown yet this season.
Wigmore possibly with the final play before the end of the half, as that catch is made for first down by Chima, and the clock hits 000 on the first half of play here in South Florida, as the Storm have jumped out to a 28-17 lead off of those 2 turnovers that they've gotten off of Jack Wigmore. 2 picks in the first half, 14 points, and that's the difference in the ball game so far. Stephen Molinax, your initial thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I think this is the duel of 2 different philosophies. We have a very balanced offense from Florida, and they have been able to do pretty much what they've wanted to in this game. 28 points in the first half. I mean, we're looking at, like I said at the beginning, we're looking at maybe a 40-point game for both of these teams by the end of it when we blow that final whistle. But clearly Florida has got the advantage offensively. They've just been much more successful. And with Baltimore, it's been mainly just a one-dimensional, we want to pass the ball. And look, that looked so good in the on the first couple of series. They just went, again, down the field with almost no contest at all and able to put up 2 early touchdowns. But since then, we've had those 2 interceptions, and you mentioned it. Florida has gotten 14 points off those interceptions. And Chima getting the MVP of the game with 2 touchdowns so far. But that is also part of the Baltimore offense. Passing so much, those stats are really inflated, right? But the one place it might not show up and hasn't really shown up too much so far for the Baltimore this season is in the win column.
Yeah, and it's been the Ivory Irvin and Mac Chima show. Chima shows up when you want to get some touchdowns on the board, but otherwise, Ivory Irvin's been getting the bulk of the targets, 12 targets in that first half of play, as Baltimore will kick things off to start the second half, down by 11. And we'll get a return, as Vandelay will bring it out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. And we'll see if the Storm can go ahead and lengthen this advantage that they have right now. Like I said, they had almost 300 yards of total offense just in the first half.
And what a change it has been from that first few series from this game. It just looked like right out of the gate, Baltimore was going to just come out and go gangbusters. But this Florida defense really tightened up in the second quarter. And now Florida has an opportunity to really extend this lead to something very impressive here by getting the ball right at the start of the second half.
Vultures showing blitz, and Covert throws out of it. Intended for Shea Carroll. That falls incomplete. Eric Vincent alongside Stephen Mullinax here in the broadcast booth with you. And Ron Haynes, J.W. Hartshorn, there in the stats truck, along with Commissioner Cameron Irvine, who is back at VFN HQ.
And Ben Stacking Paper there again, showing up again in this game with a big hit. This guy's one of the best hitting and tackling cornerbacks in the SFL.
Wide single back look here for the Storm on 2nd and 10. Twin screw the motion man, now making trips towards the bottom formation. Covered to throw. Good clean pocket, throws and incomplete. Vaught was back there in coverage and probably could have come up with the interception, Steven.
Yeah, had to hit him right in the hands. Did a great job of knocking it away, but Vaught, man, doing the Lord's work back there in the secondary. You know, they're trying to make up for that absence of a very key player there, but Vaught has been up to the challenge every time, seemingly every time it's been tested on those really far plays.
Baltimore showing blitz, they'll back out of it. Covert rolls out on 3rd and 10, finds a man, and that's twin screw. That's going to be another first down for the Storm.
I love it. I love it. Roll out on 3rd down and long. You know you need it. First time we've seen a rollout from this team in this game. It shows you how diverse their playbook is. And on a key 3rd down, they're going to roll the quarterback out to lessen the pressure and give Twin Screw an opportunity to run his full route and find the opening in the zone.
It's a great play on 3rd and 10 to work the middle of the field and convert the first down. So we get a look at Covert's numbers passing across the board. Just wanted to work the middle of the field pretty much the entirety of the ball game. As we see a pitch play to Beletsky, and the Vultures defense playing a little bit better against that rushing attack with the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you go into halftime, if you're Baltimore and the defensive coordinator trying to figure out what to stop and what you can, it's kind of a catch-22, right? Because Florida's look good doing everything. They've had some success doing a little bit of everything, so you got to pick and choose your battles.
Over, blitz coming again, throws into double coverage, and another catch by Mike Twinscrew. He has caught fire in the weaning minutes of the second quarter and now into the second half.
Yeah, and Covert delivering an absolute strike there between two defenders. Great timing. Twinscrew didn't have to pick it off his shoelaces this time. Perfect pass right into his hands. Allows him to get just a little bit more after the catch. But the timing by the quarterback to get it to the receiver right in time before that big hit, perfect.
Twinscrew now over the century mark. Handoff goes to Beletsky, and again bottled up in the backfield. Looked like he probably could have squeaked through, just given that block that he got from Komisak, but all for naught.
Yeah, a lot of times when we see a running back like that get caught behind the blocker, we don't give enough credit to the defender that's pushing that blocker back into the running back, and that's exactly what happened there.
Sticking with the same formation, going offset. Covert, blitz coming. He'll throw it over the middle, a low ball intended for Twinscrew, and that's incomplete.
Yeah, now obviously a rush play as the quarterback felt the pass rush on his back almost, and had to get rid of that ball quicker than he wanted to, but still delivers a catchable ball, just can't bring it down.
Elijah Warfield, the coverage man on that play, brings up 3rd and 11. From the 35 of Baltimore would be a long field goal from here. Covert throws, finds Twinscrew again in double coverage, and they are into the SFL red zone.
And can't you feel it, Eric? The connection between Twinscrew and Covert is just getting stronger and stronger. We saw him throwing balls to his shoelaces early in the game, and now it's just been almost pitch perfect passes. Like their connection, I mean, it's getting really good. And boy, they are threatening now right in the SFL red zone.
Just inside the 15, mark it at the 13, 1st and 10. Covert, blitz coming again. Calm, cool, and collected. Finds another receiver, and that's Vandelay getting knocked down near the 5-yard line.
Covert seems very comfortable, almost asleep in the pocket, right? Like there's no rush, there's no hurry to it. He's just identifying things fairly quickly and delivering strikes out there.
It's been his happy place thus far. Pitch play goes to Beletsky, and he'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be a 3rd and short. They can pick up the first down before hitting the goal line.
Yeah, again, we talked about that. When a running back's able to break that first tackle, usually means a good thing. That would have been a touchdown if Beletsky was able to break that, but wasn't, and now we've got this 3rd and 1.
Split back look, going back to the pitch play. Kamasak, good blocking along the top end there by Ron Haynes, and that's an easy touchdown for the Storm.
Yeah, these pitch plays, I mean, the defense has tightened up at times, mainly in the second quarter and into this third. Sometimes they are just like this. They are just wide open, and there's just nobody there. Give that all the credit in the world to the offensive coordinator, just calling the perfect play at the perfect time.
Extra point added by Snead, 35-17 now the score, as Florida continuing to matriculate the ball down the field. Covert has been absolutely calm, cool, and collected. As I mentioned, almost 250 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, completing 68% of his passes.
And I don't know why players on the Baltimore bench are hanging their heads. It's way too much time that's left into this game. And the way that their offense performed, particularly in the first quarter, it shows you that within a very few amount of plays, they can strike very easily. So I wouldn't be hanging my head, especially with 6 minutes still left in the third quarter, especially the way this offense has played so far in this game at times. And really, the onus probably is more on the Baltimore defense, as they've got to find a way to shut down this Florida offense that has been looking like the old domination of old, right? The old champion-type Storm team. That's what we're seeing so far tonight. Baltimore defense so far hasn't had many answers.
Well, you're seeing prime Storm tonight for sure. And we'll see how Baltimore can respond, now down 18 points. Midway through the third, Wigmore over the middle, catch made by Chima near the midfield stripe, and we'll see where they mark it. Either way, it's going to be a first down.
Yeah, this is, again, it's what we've been seeing for a lot of this game, maybe not as consistently as the game has worn on, but these receivers, again, I think multiple receivers were open, really a buffet for Wigmore to choose from. It's just been those mistakes, those mental mistakes by Wigmore at times that have really hurt them in this ballgame.
Both Chima and Irvin over 100 yards receiving. Handoff on the ground goes to Anderson, who gets 40 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 6.
Yeah, and you got to keep him honest, right? As much as you want to pass the ball, you do have to at least threaten a bit with the running game and implement that, because you just don't want defenses to key in on one thing if possible.
Trying to keep the defense honest as Wigmore goes back to the passing attack. Doesn't see anything he likes, checks it down to T-Roy. Gains with a good stiff arm there and gets near the line to gain. And it's going to be a gain of 5 and a 3rd and short coming up.
Yeah, look, and if you've got one-on-one with a defender, there's not many players better than T-Roy Gaines to have out there catching that ball in the flat for you and an opportunity to give either a shoulder charge or a stiff arm. The guy's been doing it for years.
Big time 3rd and short. Florida showing blitz. They'll stay. Murray trying to bounce to the outside. He does. First down yardage and more. He stays in bounds somehow and squeaks his way out to the 25-yard line of Florida.
Yeah, look, and this is the head-scratching thing, right? Man, look at this amazing play by Murray. Look at the patience there to wait for his blockers to actually pick up the blocks. He didn't go too early. That probably wouldn't have got him the first down, right? But that patience for the blockers to work around them and to gain much more than he needed for that first down makes you scratch your head and go, why don't they run the ball a little bit more? Because, man, it's looking good right there.
Back to the empty. Wigmore throws another interception. This time, Jesus Smith does get his mitts on the ball and secure the pick. And Florida now with 3 interceptions on defense tonight.
And we've talked about that dig route before, and it has been a dangerous pass, but Wigmore has been able to complete it there. Just didn't see Jesus, right? Just kind of maybe hidden behind an offensive lineman blocking in front of him. But a big 50 able to get those big mitts out, and that's 2 interceptions so far by these Florida linebackers who have really been diverse in their coverage.
That's Smith's first on the season as well, as it's a pitch play out to Kamasak. Good blocking there for him as he works the far sideline almost for a gain of 10. It's going to be 2nd and short.
And man, I love these versatile fullbacks in the league. I mean, look, in the NFL, right, fullbacks almost are gone the way of the dodo. But here in the SFL, I love that they're thriving and they're legitimate running threats out of the backfield. And maybe there's no better example of that than Commissar.
Some of the best offenses incorporate top-tier fullbacks as premier ball carriers. As Boletsky gets a carry, stiff arm there to Vaught, and he'll get tackled, but not before he extends the drive for the Storm.
Yeah, wow. I mean, this has really worked out beautifully for Florida, right? I mean, look, every time that they've gotten an interception, they've scored points off of it, and they're looking to do that for the third time in a row here off that interception.
Carroll, the motion man. Over with a short drop, fires, finds Ron Haynes. He's been great in both blocking and receiving here tonight, coming up with some clutch catches for the Storm.
Yeah, I think Baltimore knew that coming into this game. They've kind of clamped down on him a little bit, and the coverage was there. It was just there's no coverage for the perfect pass, right? And the one-step drop from Covert's really showing you how comfortable he is. He's throwing that ball before his tight end even has a chance to really turn around because he just believes that he will be there. Covert playing on another level today.
Carroll once again in motion. They'll keep it on the ground to Comasek. What a hit on Vaught. Oh, goodness. Comasek, he's got a family. Bring him back from the Shadow Realm, man. He's got a football game to play.
Yeah, and in the Shadow Realm, he was met by Mike Allstott, right, just to shake his hand and say congrats, because that's the kind of thing Allstott used to do all the time as a fullback. But, man, that's the thing you got to love about what the fullbacks bring, not only the speed, but the power.
Boletsky now the carry. He throws a stiff arm. He stays on his feet and gets near the 40-yard line of Baltimore.
They must be working out together because Boletsky is doing the things that a fullback does, but he's also got the speed of the bullet. I mean, his name. He's so fast, and he showed a lot of power through those stiff arms in this game. And, man, that's just fun to watch.
I wonder if they're incorporating some boxing into their workouts, just with how vicious they're throwing those jabs on the defenders tonight.
I need it. Whatever they're doing, I need it. I can use that in my real life as I'm in the McDonald's drive-thru. I could really use that stiff arm.
1st and 10 now. Keeping it on the ground and nowhere to go for Comasek. Mack able to get in there and make the hit for the TFL.
Yeah, but the real hero of that play to me, again, is the defensive end, able to push the offensive lineman back so much that he runs it to his own running back. That's the real key to that play.
Over, 2nd down, finds a wide open Haynes in the middle of the field, and that's going to be knocked down at the 30-yard line. Another 1st and 10 for Florida.
It's so great to have a tight end that's that big. One of the reasons is he's likely played basketball at some point in his sporting career. And so for him, blocking out defenders is something that kind of comes naturally to him. And as a quarterback, I can tell you from my own experience, right, that just having a big target that you can target down the field that blocks out defenders, it's such a wonderful ad to have.
Vaught with the tackle on that short carry there from Boletsky. And we've seen both Mack and Jan Vaught come in there and make big plays pretty much collectively through the course of the day. But it's just been the turnovers that the offense has been giving Florida here tonight. As that's a pitch play to Thomas. Can't work his way out of the backfield. Going to be a 3rd and 8.
And we'll see the Baltimore defense, they'll step up, and they'll do things like this. They'll force it into a 3rd and 8, and they'll make their plays because they're a talented bunch. But Florida, so far, has just had that something special on 3rd down to really convert a lot of them and make some really big plays, clutch plays.
3rd and 8. Covert rolls out, throws. This time throws a pick. Interception number 1 on the day as Covert tries to make the tackle. Can't do it. But Baltimore finally showing a little bit of life as Roy Towers comes up with the interception.
Yeah, and the first big mistake here by Covert, rolling out on the bunch and targeting a player that's absolutely swamped. I mean, that's a lot of confidence. He's earned it in this game, Covert, but Towers just in a great position, almost like he was the receiver on the play, able to bring it down and get a lot of yards afterwards. Baltimore absolutely needed this spark. Let's see if this turnover for them can spark points.
4th interception on the season for Towers in his 3rd season here in Baltimore. So we see the Dags DroneWorks blimp hovering high ahead here in the eye of the storm. Wigmore to throw. Has all day, one-handed grab by Irvin. Works his way near the 40-yard line.
And do you know, Eric, does Mike Dags actually have control of that blimp? Because that was kind of in the way of that play, but still, it doesn't matter because Baltimore's able to convert it. We've seen that similar play here in this game. They found something with it, but we've also seen similar plays get picked off 3 times so far in this game by Florida. So it's like Baltimore keeps testing the limits, and sometimes they pay for it, and sometimes it's touchdowns.
More off the first down, throws a questionable ball into triple coverage there, and it ends up being incomplete.
I'm sorry, I just can't get my mind off Dags up in that blimp actually driving that thing.
No, he's got a remote control. He's doing it from the ground, man.
And you know that he just loves to put that shadow right in the middle of the field. You know he loves it.
Marketing is key, man.
It's getting a lot of marketing.
11 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Baltimore trying to take advantage of the turnover. Down by 18 points. Pitch play will go to Anderson, who gets tackled along the near sideline, and that's going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter of action here in Fort Lauderdale. Get your 4s up in the chat. We got one more quarter to go here from South Florida as the hometown Storm hold a 35-17 lead over the Baltimore Vultures. SFL on VFN action rolls on here with you, Eric Vincent, alongside Stephen Mullinax, Ron Haynes, and JW Hartshorn in the stats truck. Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ. 5 wide for the Vultures. Just outside the 31-yard line of the Storm. Wigmore, good clean pocket. He'll set his feet. He'll go end zone and a little bit too tall on that 3rd down play. It's going to be 4th down. And I think Baltimore will probably settle for a field goal here with the whole 4th quarter to play.
Yeah, and look great. Well, first of all, I'm not sure that the receiver even had a chance. The ball was overthrown there even to get the ball, but great makeup speed by the Florida defender there. As you can see, the receiver had an opportunity to maybe get a step or 2 on that defender, but the makeup speed was the thing of legends there. Deion Sanders type speed there by the defender.
48-yard field goal from Iron Leg is up and through. No, it's going to be short.
Oh, wow.
Did it hit the crossbar?
Let's take a look.
Let's get another look. Wow. It was about 3 yards short.
Wow. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Iron Leg first miss of the season, which just a bit out of the range there. It could have been the wind coming back at him a bit. And, wow, I mean, when it rains, it pours for Baltimore right now.
Has been a bit blustery here in the stadium, and Baltimore, unfortunately, switching sides of the field midway through that drive as we moved into the 4th quarter. And now Beletsky looking to take advantage with an 8-yard run there on 1st down.
Yeah, maybe the wind at his back is helping Beletsky push you a little bit faster. It could be all about that. That was a great point, Eric. I mean, the switch sides of the field, and suddenly maybe if they were still on that other side, that would have went through. Who knows?
So instead, Florida dodges a bullet. And we'll pitch it over to Thomas on this 2nd down play, bringing up a 3rd and 1 off the tackle of Young Vaught.
Yeah, and Vaught, tired of seeing those stiff arms there, really try to lay the hammer on the running back, and they're probably just tired of seeing them get demolished there on the outside tosses.
Big 3rd down here for the Baltimore defense. Pitch goes to Beletsky. Great blocking once again, this time on the outside by Shea Carroll. And Beletsky able to break free and get the 1st down for the Storm.
Yeah, and it's been a thing of beauty. I mean, how Florida has really integrated a lot of different ways of getting their playmakers the ball. And we've seen really probably 75, 80% of the time they do those toss plays. it's for a significant game and gain or first down. And I mean, this coaching staff has just done a great job of scouting this Baltimore defense, but also being sure that their playbook is very diverse.
4.5 yards of carry for Beletsky tonight. As Covert goes back to the air. One-handed grab by Haynes. He's been absolutely magical in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and I've seen this before. I mean, when they need a money play, tonight has been, Twin Screw has done a lot, but man, Ron Haynes in previous games this season has been absolutely clutch and just showing you right there the kind of plays that he's been making all season long.
Under 8 to go here in the fourth. Carroll, the motion man. Pitch out to Komisak, trying to find a little bit of wiggle room and nothing doing. It's a good play there by the Baltimore defense to get the TFL.
Yeah, and if I'm Komisak, I'm going right to those two offensive linemen that were in front of me. I was like, where's the blocking? Where's the blocking? It was just, you had one guy. You had one job. Let me do my thing, man. Just let me do my thing.
Back to the air. Covert fires. Catch made. This time Shea Carroll. And another first down for Florida.
Yeah, and we've seen big plays by Twin Screw. We've seen big plays by Vandelay, and now they're getting Carroll involved. Ron Haynes obviously just made that terrific catch. So really, they are just looking to every one of their weapons on offense. Now, this is a team, roster-wise, doesn't have a lot of depth. But what they do have is they have a playbook that utilizes every single one of their key players, and their key players are pretty much everyone on the roster.
Baltimore showing blitz. Pitch goes to Komisak, avoids initial contact, breaks free down the near sideline, and Alvin Mack escorts him out of bounds after a gain of 9.
And again, this is what we've seen from Florida the whole game. I mean, where Baltimore's offense has stuttered a bit, especially when it comes to those interceptions, those turnovers, Florida has been super consistent all game long. Outside of that one interception that they had, they've played almost mistake-free football throughout this game.
Going back to the split back look. Almost 450 yards of total offense for the Storm, and Beletsky just couldn't quite get there to make it an even 450. Towers with the stop, 3rd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, and I know as an offensive coordinator myself, that feels unfair, right? A defender holds up your guy, and then another defender comes and really knocks him out. It's frustrating as an offensive coordinator. Like, that's all. I mean, it's like a war. It's like a crime out there. But just a great job there of holding him off from that first down marker.
Komisak with the pitch. Again, avoids the initial contact, stays in bounds, and is able to get himself into the end zone. Tough touchdown from Chris Komisak.
How does a guy that big get that skinny where he doesn't get out of bounds, is able to scoot around 2 defenders and somehow find his way in the end zone? That should have been a 2-man gang tackle. Instead, it was Komisak playing ballerina along the sidelines and somehow tippy-toeing his way into the end zone.
Just when it looked like his right foot was about to step out of bounds, he kept it up. Didn't step out. And like you said, Steven, just ballerinas his way along that near sideline into the end zone. The rich get richer here tonight in South Florida as Snead adds the extra point. 42-17 your score with just over 6 minutes to go. Chat, I have a favor to ask of you. Like the video, man. I'll say it again, like the video. Please support our hardworking crew by smashing that like button. Subscribing and commenting on the video, it really helps the channel out. Turn notifications on so you'll never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. Thanks for your support of the Virtual Football Network and of the SFL. .604 to go here from South Florida. 42-17 the score, and Baltimore just absolutely reeling. 4 interceptions here tonight for Jack Wigmore. 3 interceptions, I should say, excuse me. We'll start off with a carry to Anderson. Not a whole lot of running the ball that we've seen from Baltimore's offense, but that's a good one for 9 yards.
Eric, it just feels like, man, this is so different than what we saw in the first couple of series from Baltimore. Like the bottom fell out. Give a lot of credit to Florida's defense. as you mentioned, all those turnovers have really changed the direction of this game. And now it seems counterculture, what Baltimore's doing. They're so perplexed, I think. They're now starting to run the ball when I really feel this is where their passing offense could help them.
I would absolutely agree. I'm a little perplexed as well, seeing 2 carries on back-to-back plays when they could have possibly done that earlier in the ball game. Now this looks a little familiar. No back in the backfield. Wigmore under center. Good clean pocket. He sidearm throws it, and a big hit on the back end jarred the football loose. That was Daniel Wright coming up and making the stop.
And that throw's going to Warren Murray, so that's, you're not even going to one of your conventional wide receivers. You're going to a running back to try and make that play 20 yards down the field.
Brings up a 2nd and 10. Wigmore, plenty of time. Throws a low ball that's caught. Smith with the tackle on Matson, and it brings up a 3rd and 8.
And nice job by the tight end to bring that in, but that's almost like throwing it out of bounds almost. And maybe they might have been benefited if they threw it out of bounds, because it would have at least stopped the clock. And they need all the time they can get.
It's worse throwing it like that. It keeps the clock churning, and you just don't have a whole lot of time to get yourselves back in this game. 3rd down for Wigmore. He uncorks one, and Irvin just can't hold onto it. His first drop of the evening. He's caught virtually everything thrown his way tonight, and just when he needed it most, couldn't reel it in.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pass that was behind him. He had to turn and twist his body a bit, but you absolutely expect a veteran in the SFL to make that catch, and I know that he expects to make that catch.
Big 4th down. Vulture's got to go. Wigmore on 4th and 8. Throws, and incomplete once again. This time the big hit by Davidson jarred the football away from Irvin, and it's a turnover on downs.
And it's just like a balloon, like that blimp that Mike Daggs is flying right now overhead, just losing air. It just felt like the air out of the balloon for Baltimore it went out in the second half, and it has never really expanded. I thought that interception they got from Covert would have sparked this offense a bit, but it just hasn't done it. And you can just see there's no momentum at all for Baltimore right now.
Yeah, if we had the Rick meter, I'm certain that it would be heavily in favor of the Storm at this point, as Florida is just going to keep it on the ground, carry from Comisac for no gain.
Yeah, the Rick meter would have been out of the stadium already at the local bar, 3 drinks deep by this time.
Oof, man, it's a bold statement there, Stephen Mullins.
If I may, I take I'm just imagining a really drunk Rick meter.
Speaking of which, where's happy hour?
That's right. Hey, it's happy hour somewhere, my friend.
Florida wanting to tick the clock away, and Covert doing a good job with bleeding as much clock as he possibly can. Another short run, in fact, loss of 1 on that play, bringing it up 3rd and 11.
And young Vaught, let's talk about. I mean, in a what's likely a losing effort here, young Vaught has been absolutely sensational. Like a guy that has not given up in any way. They might be hanging their heads on the sideline, some of these players, but not Vaught. Vaught is bringing the hammer, regardless of the scoreboard. This guy's been playing lights out.
Yeah, there's been some standouts on defense here for Baltimore today, but collectively as a unit, just really nothing they can do to combat this high-flying Storm offense, as they will keep it on the ground for a gain of a couple, stacking paper on the tackle. 4th down as we approach the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, and look, this has got to be great for Florida fans, right? This is, again, a hint of what this team used to be consistently, and the hope for what this team can once be again this very season. Again, they're only 1 game out of first place in their division, and so regardless of what the standings are, Florida's in a good position to win this division. With wins like this, it's going to get easier and easier for them, as Baltimore is a quality team.
Ball will sail out of bounds near the 20-yard line from Agrippa. And it's going to be 2:32 to go here in the fourth. Folks, there's just 2 weeks left in the SFLM Season 11, and it's anyone's game at the top of the standings. Birmingham and San Jose are at the top. The Flight host Anchorage at 6 p.m. Eastern. The Hellhounds travel to Philadelphia at 8 p.m. Eastern. San Diego clashes with New York at 10 p.m. Eastern. See the SFL Stars of tomorrow right here on the Virtual Football Network. That's coming up on Tuesday as Matson gets the carry there. Baltimore in the no huddle. Wigmore back to the air, completes to Irvin over the middle near midfield. And they will continue to run this until the brakes fall off as we near the 2-minute warning. Wigmore again finds Matson. Another catch near the 30-yard line. And I don't think they're going to get one more play off before we hit the 2-minute warning here in South Florida. Florida up big over Baltimore, 42-17. Looking to put this one away here at home. You're watching the SFL on VFN. Eric Vincent alongside Stephen Mullinax, Ron Haynes, and J.W. Hartshorn in the stats truck. Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ. It's been a game to forget for the Vultures as Wigmore throws another one into traffic. That hits the turf. Second down.
I think that was a defensive lineman that had dropped back in coverage, and I think it hit him in the belly. Almost able to get a big man rumble and play there, which would be apropos for what this game has been so far, especially after that terrific first quarter.
Wigmore finds Irvin again. He has definitely been the bell cow in this passing attack. Baltimore will call the first time out.
And a symptom of this Baltimore offense, and their numbers are going to be huge. I mean, they're going to have big offensive numbers. They throw the ball a lot. They like to throw. They've got great receivers that love to catch the ball. It's been the turnovers and the lack of scoring that's just really hurt them. And, of course, in this game, the defense also allowed Florida's offense to really do anything they wanted.
Matson, catch, setting up a goal-to-go situation. Second time out for Baltimore.
Now we're in an interesting spot here. This would be, would think that this would be a run here. And we've seen Baltimore utilize the short yardage run to convert first downs in this game. Let's see what they do here. Oh, well, no running back in the backfield.
Well, instead, Wigmore going to come out 3 wide in the empty. Now he shifts Murray into the backfield, sidecar right. And Wigmore will throw over the middle, looking Matson's way, and it's incomplete, second and goal.
Yeah, this is where this particular formation could be troublesome, right? When you're just going out and no back sets, even though you bring a running back in, trying to throw the ball at the goal line like this with just the field is so compacted, there's so many defenders in there, it's just tough to squeeze through a window.
Looks like they're going to try something similar here. Matson, the motion man, he's been popular on this drive. Wigmore retreats. He's in trouble. He's going to go down. The blitz was coming the whole way, and Ryan Tobin able to get into the lap of Wigmore and force Baltimore to burn their last time out.
And Eric, am I crazy to think that might be a mixed blessing for Baltimore to get away from the goal line, to give their offense, because they clearly want to pass here, to give them more room to possibly make these routes actually get open? That might be a mixed blessing to be sacked.
It definitely opens up the playbook here from the 9 as Wigmore throws, and he throws another pick. Ryan Davidson, second interception on the day, and he is going to rumble down the near sideline. No one's going to catch him. Take it to the crib. Reservations for 6. Touchdown, Florida.
Wow, what a statement ending for this game. Although 69 had me fearful a little bit there. I thought Baltimore's guys were going to make that angle work. And the old Florida Storm leap right into the eye of the storm. What a beautiful ending to this game for Florida. And unfortunately, more of the same for Baltimore. And now they've got a real reason to hang their heads, right? Because Florida has just been absolutely dominant in this game. But also a little expected in the sense they are playing at home. And they're getting that home cooking, getting to sleep in their own bed. So, that's always a benefit. But I don't think anybody foresaw this kind of score. Although I did say I thought maybe at this point it'd be over 40 for both teams. But this kind of a quote-unquote blowout. This game certainly didn't start that way.
Definitely not. But that was the exclamation point for a great Florida Storm victory, 49-17 now the score, with just under 90 seconds to go. And folks, the SFL week is not over. Monday, tomorrow, Cameron Irvine and Charles Doherty are back for the Monday Night Spectacular. This week, it's the South Division Classic. The Fort Worth Toros try to keep pace with the Mexico City Aztecs south of the border in primetime. Kickoff going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern. The SFL lives on the Virtual Football Network. Chima, good return as he'll weave his way out near the 30-yard line. In fact, they'll mark it right at the 30. No timeouts to work with and down big. And like you said, Steven, it's more of the same for Baltimore. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Now going to be losers of 4 straight.
Yeah, and 6 games, 6 losses on the season. That's going to mark the most losses they've had in the history of their franchise as the Vultures, which is unbelievable to say. This is a team that has never had 6 losses in the several seasons they've been in this league. And it's almost, as it's coming out of my mouth, I can't believe I'm saying.
They have made the playoffs in every single season they have played under the Baltimore Vultures moniker, and it's going to be a tough road ahead for them to keep that streak alive.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, we knew coming in this game, there's a team that's got to win and there's a team that's got to lose. And I think what it's done for, as bad it is for Baltimore to get their 6th loss, I think Florida really rebounds great. Man, almost another pick there. But, I mean, you've got to feel so good if you're a Florida Storm fan here, blowing out a very talented Baltimore Vultures team. But what it means for you in the division and the fact that there's time and games left really to cement your place as a division winner.
Yeah, absolutely. And Florida, this might be a turning point. I mean, we're reaching the tail end of season 25 here, but I mean, as you mentioned, Steven, it's anyone's ball game in the East Division as Chima comes up with that one. And, Florida might be able to come away with this one as a division winner, get themselves into the playoffs. And if they keep playing like this, obviously with maybe a little bit more improvements on the defensive end, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, they absolutely, they showed the entire gamut tonight. And I mean, goodness gracious, as a team that's in it and in the thick of it, if you had to face this Florida team right now, I mean, it's a scary proposition, especially here in the eye.
This will be their 3rd win here at home. As it's going to be a throw to Irvin, and that's going to be just outside the 10-yard line. Just over 30 seconds to go here. And clocking the ball, that'll stop the clock with 29 seconds to go. And what's next for Baltimore, Steven? I mean, losers of 4 straight. You got division opponent Queen City on the docket coming up. Then you got Washington as well, both home games. And the way both of those teams have been playing, I mean, it's hard to say when the next win's going to be.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think will benefit Baltimore is the fact they get to play this at home. We got a score there.
There's a score.
But yeah, the benefit is that Baltimore, they've been on a 4-game away streak here. I mean, they haven't had home cooking in a long time. So to actually go back home into Baltimore, face Queen City, face Washington, you got to think that if there's a chance for them to have some sort of a bounce back, it's going to be it's going to be at home where they have a little bit of an advantage there. But again, as you mentioned, both of those teams, they're no pushovers, and there really aren't there many pushovers or really any in the SFL. So, it's going to be tough sledding for Baltimore even to reach 500 like that.
Yeah, 3 of their next 4 are going to be at home, but also coincidentally, 3 of the next 4 are going to be against division opponents as well. And you touched on it, Steven. 4 games on the road as Florida recovers the onside kick there. Nice snag by Twin Screwed to pretty much ice the game as if it wasn't already. But what we were saying is 4 games on the road, that's super tough. I mean, they haven't been at home since week 6, which again, coincidentally, happened to be their last win.
Yeah. And here's the real funky thing. Look at the total yards by both of these teams. I mean, Baltimore's actually going to win and have more total yards than Florida. But those stats don't tell the whole story. They don't talk about the turnovers, and they definitely don't talk about the scoreboard and their ability to get in the end zone. So stats are not everything, folks. Surely here it would look like, man, Baltimore just had their way, and it, in a way they did, as far as like they were able to complete a lot of passes, but those mistakes and not being able to score as often or at the pace that Florida was really determined this game.
Sometimes box score watching will tell the story of the game, but not in this case, as Florida comes away with a 49-24 victory after allowing 460 yards of total offense to the Baltimore Vultures. Just an absolutely wild game and a great win from Florida. Stephen Molinax, take it away. What are your final thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, this was an absolute showcase for Florida. I mean, everything that they can be, everything that they want to be, everything that they have been was showcased in this game. Yes, they did allow a massive amount of yardage on offense by their defense, but they also did some terrific things, specifically on those turnovers, right? 1 pick six, able to come away, I believe, with 4 interceptions total. And that really was the big determinant in this game, because Florida's offense was playing on such a pace that they were able to convert those turnovers into points directly. And when you can do that, I mean, the world is your oyster, and it absolutely was for Florida. Baltimore, the struggles continue. The numbers are nice, and they're going to be big, but man, those losses are starting to pile up on a record pace for their franchise.
Well, on behalf of Stephen Molinax, Ron Haynes, and J.W. Hartshorn in the Stat Truck, Commissioner Cameron Irvine, and all of us here at VFN, we want to thank you for tuning in to this presentation of the SFL on VFN. Be sure to check out simfl.net for more information on the league and how you can get out onto the field. And just remember, if you had half as much fun as I did, it's twice as much fun as you. Thanks. Have a good night.
I'm bad at math.